In one of the stranger coincidences that I ever remember taking place around the Kansas City Chiefs franchise, the Kansas City Chiefs have been to 5 of the past 6 Super Bowls, but only played 3 different opponents, having seen the same opponent on 2 occasions. So 4 of the 5 Super Bowls were repeats, right? The 49ers and the Eagles. One of the interesting things to note about that, the 49ers played the Kansas City Chiefs in the Kansas City Chiefs' first return to the Super Bowl, right? That first ring that the Kansas City Chiefs have came against the 49ers. The third ring the Kansas City Chiefs got during this dynastic run was against the 49ers. The 49ers really had a bad season this year. So, though the Kansas City Chiefs for the next few years will be inextricably linked to both the 49ers as well as the Eagles, it would seem, at least through one season past that Super Bowl, the two franchises are on different routes. And with the big question around Brock Purdy coming up, they'd better get it right, or else things will go drastically worse for the 49ers for the foreseeable future. But in order to really appreciate what the Kansas City Chiefs have done the past few seasons, sometimes we have to take a step back and kind of revel in what they haven't done. Obviously, we're here on the, how would you say, the maybe trampoline still sinking after the Super Bowl loss. But things are moving forward for both the Kansas City Chiefs as well as the Philadelphia Eagles. And if things go this coming season the way that they did to wrap up last season, that is for the Chiefs versus their last opponent, the 49ers had a terrible season. The Kansas City Chiefs returned to the Super Bowl. Will the Kansas City Chiefs return to the Super Bowl again? And what will come of the Eagles? Well, there is one author who thinks that it is more likely that the Eagles get back to the Super Bowl rather than the Kansas City Chiefs. Though, in fairness, Bucky Brooks does give both of these teams a good shot. And honestly, if you're looking at things kind of rationally and mathematically, he gives them the same shot because there are 2 NFC teams in the top 3 and 1 AFC team. So those 2 NFC teams would cancel each other out in the playoffs. But let's get into it. In an article titled 8 Biggest Super Bowl Windows Right Now, Chiefs rank 3rd, Packers crack top 5 from NFL.com by Bucky Brooks, we get the following excerpt about the Kansas City Chiefs, who, like the title suggests, are ranked number 3 in these rankings. Bucky Brooks tells us, do not let Kansas City's disappointing performance in Super Bowl licks overshadow the team's dominance over the past 6 seasons. The Chiefs have appeared in 5 Super Bowls in that span, winning 3 Lombardi trophies while transforming from a high-flying aerial circus to a throwback squad that plays complementary football. Given Kansas City's evolution and impressive resume, 9 straight AFC West titles, 7 straight AFC Championship game appearances, the Chiefs must be considered top-tier title contenders, with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes back to avenge a humiliating defeat on football's biggest stage. Though the team must address the offensive line, upgrade the backfield, and possibly replace Travis Kelce, number 15's presence ensures the offense will find a way to score enough points to win with or without elite firepower. Defensively, the Chiefs will return a pair of elite players, defensive tackle Chris Jones and cornerback Trent McDuffie, and a host of key contributors, defensive end George Karlaftis and linebackers Leo Chenal and Drew Tranquill. But the team must make hard decisions on whether to bring back Nick Bolton and Justin Reid on hefty contracts. Whoever's on board, Kansas City's D will apply plenty of heat to the opposition with blitzing guru Steve Spagnuolo at the controls. While GM Brett Veach and Andy Reid have navigated these roads before, the path to Super Bowl LX will be challenging with a retooled roster on the horizon. So the most interesting thing, in my opinion, about what it is that Bucky Brooks lays out here is that, the Kansas City Chiefs have revolutionized their roster from the first go-round with Tyreek Hill et al. But I don't think it really is just the one evolution through which this team has gone. We saw the Tyreek Hill era in Kansas City. That Tyreek Hill era was the Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce prime era. And it was a wheeling and dealing offense. The second Super Bowl that the Kansas City Chiefs won, that was against the Eagles, the offense was, in my opinion, markedly different than the offense that we just saw. I think that this team is on its third iteration, not its second iteration. So if the Chiefs are the number 3 team, the number 2 team on these rankings from Bucky Brooks was the Detroit Lions, and the number 1 team was the Eagles. So let's take a gander at what he says about the Eagles. The ultra-talented roster assembled by General Manager Howie Roseman could keep the Eagles in title contention for the next half-decade. The aggressive talent evaluator has stockpiled blue chippers at marquee positions while also providing the coaching staff with a collection of developmental prospects, owning the potential to emerge as key contributors down the road. Offensively, Jalen Hurts and Saquon Barkley will once again anchor the offense, featuring an explosive trio of playmakers, A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith, and Dallas Goedert. In the passing game, the Eagles' dominant offensive line will continue to impose its will on overmatched opponents as Lane Johnson, Jordan Mailata, and Landon Dickerson spearhead a unit specializing in bullying defenders at the point of attack. After earning his first Pro Bowl berth as a second-team All-Pro honors, Jalen Carter could make a real push for Defensive Player of the Year, with Nolan Smith and Jordan Davis supporting his efforts on the front line, with Quinyon Mitchell, Cooper DeJean, and C.J. Gardner-Johnson poised to play even better with more reps in Vic Fangio's system. It's hard to imagine the Eagles failing to seriously contend for another Lombardi trophy with a loaded roster that is the undisputed gold standard of the league. That's awfully funny coming after the 2023 season. The thing that makes the Kansas City Chiefs so impressive, so ridiculous, is the consistency. The Kansas City Chiefs have not had a drop-off season during the Patrick Mahomes era. The Kansas City Chiefs, as this article alludes, have won 9 consecutive AFC West titles. The Kansas City Chiefs have been to 7 consecutive AFC Championship games in the Patrick Mahomes era. The shortest season that we have seen is overtime in the AFC Championship game. That is more impressive when taking into account the fact that what it means is the Kansas City Chiefs are never drafting above 28th overall. The Kansas City Chiefs are taking players in the last portion of the round every season. So the fact that this type of domination has gone on for so long, look, we've already seen what could have been a dynasty in the NFC with those 49ers seemingly crumble before our eyes. We've already seen the other repeat opponent for the Kansas City Chiefs, the Eagles, who came back and beat them this time, have a down season in 2023. Now, finished with a very good record, but they fell apart in the last part of the season and fell apart ultimately in the playoffs. The Kansas City Chiefs have not had that happen yet. The Kansas City Chiefs have not had a rebound opportunity yet. So, yes, Bucky Brooks does say that the Eagles have the number one Super Bowl window in the NFL and the Lions are number 2, but it's 2 teams in the Super Bowl. One from the AFC, one from the NFC. So, all things considered, it seems Bucky Brooks is saying, thinking, prognosticating perhaps, that this matchup will happen again. And guys, I don't think that it will go quite so smoothly for the Eagles the next time it happens, because yes, this was an embarrassing loss for Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, and all the rest of them. They will be looking to avenge that loss. That is all I have for this video. If you like or appreciate what it is that I do here, hitting the like button really does help me out, as it tells YouTube to share this video with other Kansas City Chiefs fans. If you find yourself here by chance but not design, the Chiefs are the only thing I talk about on the channel, dropping multiple videos every single week, and I hope to have you back for the next one.